What's up, everybody? What up, though? We are back with another episode, of course, of Lions 411. Same old, kind of doing the chat. Got Sierra, CB, whatever she want to be called, in the building with us. She's on
CB.
CB, CB,
CB.
whatever. She gonna give her feedback, of course, with some Lions related matters. But before we go ahead and get started, I want to let you know, of course, to follow us at Lions 411 on Twitter, on TikTok, on all those things, and to follow myself personally on underscore Dr. King's Dream on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm gonna hand it over to CB.
What up, world? It's your girl. Say no. It's your girl CB. You can follow me on Instagram at CB Love That for you. And then you can follow me on TikTok at 411 Lions. Oh, since we in what do we like? Episode maybe 13, 14. Do we got enough money to get a theme song?
Not quite. The viewers got to step it up with the listens before we get enough money to do that. Our clips been getting a little love, but we gotta the viewers got to step it up a little bit. Got to be consistent. But much love to everybody who's listening. Of course, really do appreciate it. Obviously, there are a lot of ways to be able to consume the Lions because the Lions are very popular right now. But we appreciate y'all for stopping in and listening to us.
Chill.
Of course, with the Lions being very popular, that is obviously for a reason. This past Sunday, we saw that reason. They played the Tennessee Titans, who, to be fair, don't have a very good record. Had traded away some guys and things like that. Still some talented players on that team, though, and we saw that on Sunday. But the Lions put a pretty nice beating on the Tennessee Titans. Sarah, could you recap the score for me? What was the score?
Baby, what you asked that for? It was 52 Detroit, 14 Tennessee.
Yeah, very rough for the Titans for sure. Interesting start to the game. Like it really was like some back and forth. Like the Titans had 7 and the Lions got 7 and the Titans scored another touchdown and they were making some plays and it's like, oh, this is the trap game, the things that the Lions will fall for sometimes. But the Titans did not score and the Lions proceeded to go on to score 38 unanswered points. So the game ended very much in the Lions' favor. And obviously there were a lot of crazy statistics to talk about from that game. Namely the fact that Jared Goff threw for 85 yards. The Lions scored 52 points and Jared Goff threw for 85 yards.
Which is lovely.
How does that even happen?
Listen, first of all, that run game. He ain't have to lift it. He ain't have to do much. He didn't have to do much. Second of all, every time Tennessee damn punt the ball or did a kickoff, they got so far damn down the field. Jared Goff didn't really have no long fields like that.
Yeah.
That was also the thing.
We love to do like the winners and the losers from this game. The very obvious and clear winners, runaway, are the Lions special teams. And it's a lot of facets of the special teams that really have been showing off. I mean, knock on wood. Let me find some wood in here. Jake Bates, I don't think has missed a kick yet this year.
That was fake wood. So
first and foremost, shout out to him. He hit his first 50-yarder of the season as well, and it looked very, very good, very clean kick. Khalif Raymond, of course, went absolutely off. He had over 200 punt return yards. One touchdown and then another one that went back for like 60 or 70 yards that he didn't score on.
Well, almost 200. Almost. Yeah, like 190. I got 190.
190? Okay. Yeah, 190. Almost. So pushing a great amount for sure for a game. And then you consider the fact that Khalil Dorsey also had a very long kickoff return that he took pretty much into the Titans red zone as well. That just set the Lions up to be at like the 15-yard line. So yeah, Jared Goff didn't really have to do a lot of throwing. Also, when we talk about special teams, much love to Jack Fox. I don't know if you saw the statistic about Jack Fox, but Jack Fox has like the 4th highest punting average ever, like of any punter ever currently for their career. And I know that those things can be a little bit unsustainable for a punter, but that's kind of insane. Like he's very much an underutilized weapon. He's just another Pro Bowler, another elite level player for his position on our team. So shout out to Dave Phipp, who's a special teams coordinator. He has just, I mean, they won the game literally because of special teams. And they could have won on offense and defense. The defense did play good. The offense played good circumstantially or situationally. But that special teams, man, I don't know. Did you see an outburst from them coming like that? I know the Titans special teams is known to be pretty bad, but did you see that coming?
Hell no. Now I didn't see 190 yards from Raymond. We had so many short fields. I mean, it was crazy, but I would say with the Titans special teams, they looked a little lost. And as our player, even Dorsey and Raymond were returning, I'm like, where the Titans at? Like, I mean, they weren't in right positions. It was bad. It was terribly bad.
Yeah, absolute record-setting performance, and apparently the Titans special teams was struggling coming into that game. I'd be lying if I said I was doing the most research statistically on the Titans and their special teams, but I did hear that they did have a pretty rough time earlier in the season. But to give up multiple 60-yard returns, like a touchdown, to not be punting the ball well, to for the Lions to be making their field goals, the Lions to be making to be having good punts as well, like it just was such a lopsided game on the special team side that it kind of just took the wind out of Tennessee. I mean, they really didn't have a shot anyway. And the Lions defense did look good during this game, continuing to stop the run pretty well. The pass defense looked pretty good. Mason Rudolph got a few yards, and Calvin Ridley was having his way a little bit with the Lions secondary in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, the Lions adjusted. They did what they had to do. Even then, a lot of those were kind of like seemed like a little bit of blown coverages and some slipaways and things like that. It wasn't too much of him just beating guys one on one. Did you see anything else interesting from the defense?
From our defense, Azaloni got a sack, 5 tackles.
Mm.
Terrion Arnold has 7 tackles. Yeah, defensive wise, I think we handled ours, but again, I don't really think it was gonna be a hard, tough game that we're like, oh, this is division rival, so we gotta handle ours today.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph isn't exactly known to be a super.
Terrible.
Yeah, not a very high quality quarterback. He did again have some moments, but he makes some mistakes, which is exactly what you expect Mason Rudolph to do. Kirby Joseph had yet another interception. Trevor Nowalski, these linebackers, I don't know what's going on with the Lions linebackers, but it's like whoever they throw out there just looks good. And maybe it's the D line that's helping them out, maybe it's the secondary that's helping them out, maybe they're just playing good. I really don't know, but got another interception with the linebackers. It just I guess it was pretty much a complete game, to be honest. I mean, the pass defense struggled in the first half, but other than that, I mean, there's really nothing to complain about. Jahmyr Gibbs had a breakout run. Kind of flawless victory, in a way. So, we'll see what next week looks like, though.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a steamroll. I would say crazy stat with the Titans. They ended up with 416 yards that we gave up on 71 plays.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 14 points. Wow.
They outgained the Lions by like 190 yards, and they lost by 38.
And we had 225, about 47 plays. We were able to get 52 points.
You just don't
416 yards that we gave up, and you have 14.
You just don't see games. You don't see games like this where a team like has all those yards. But I mean, all those yards are kind of for naught. Some of them were like late game kind of stuff. But I mean, Tennessee was moving the ball. They were moving the ball when they did get their scores. The Lions didn't have to do that again because the returns were bringing them up to the 20-yard line. The interception brought them back. The other interception brought them back. I mean, their starting field position had to have been like the 25-yard line of Tennessee, which is just insane. So yeah, the Titans kind of did what we expected them to do, kind of come in and struggle, and their struggles ended up leading to the Lions just kind of chilling and taking advantage of it. Honestly, they really didn't work very hard for this win after the first quarter. So very interesting, but obviously we got a big one coming up. So
Green
who we playing
Bay.
next week? Who we playing next week?
Green Bay. Ugh.
Yeah.
I ain't worried.
I'm not worried. I think the Lions are a better team. And I don't think that Green Bay looks all that. They do seem to play pretty well in these tight late game situations. It seems like other teams make mistakes. They beat Jacksonville, I believe, 27-20 last week, or was it 30-27, something like that. Jacksonville.
Was it? I
Huh?
thought it was 20-23, or maybe I know it's 3.
Yeah,
But
it was something. It was a close game because Jacksonville tied it up with like 2 minutes left with Evan Ingram making an insane catch over like 3 Packers. And then the Packers ended up coming down and still scoring and winning the game.
girl.
But playing against Jacksonville, I mean, Jacksonville is known again to make mistakes, kind of like Tennessee. So I'm not gonna give Green Bay too much credit for pulling out a very close win at home against a team that has really been struggling. But Green Bay has talent. I mean, they play us well. They played us well last year, at least in the first game. And it should be interesting to see what the Lions can do, mainly with Green Bay's offense, because I'd be surprised if the Lions don't move the ball against Green Bay's defense. People talk about Green Bay's defense being a little bit better, and I'm like, I guess. I mean, they have a good defense. They have some good players on the defense. They don't have anybody that I think is especially threatening to the Lions.
Not
So
that I can think of.
yeah, exactly. I mean, again, good players. They have Evan Williams, who's been playing really well at the linebacker slash safety position. Xavier McKinney has a bunch of interceptions. Obviously, Jair Alexander is a good player. Rashawn Gary is a good player, and yet Sear seems very much unimpressed.
Womp womp womp.
Yeah,
I
we'll
ain't
see.
worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the defense. I'm not. I think it's about if the Lions can slow down Jordan Love, which Jordan Love has also looked to be a little bit,
Turnover prone.
yeah, like very aggressive, but like not always good aggressive. And as we've seen from this Lions secondary, especially, very opportunistic. So I'd be surprised if Kirby Joseph or Brian Branch don't bait Jordan Love into at least one interception. And hopefully that can kind of tip the games in the Lions scale. But also, two things to note. One, this game is in Green Bay.
Ugh.
So let's worry about that. Even though it should be pretty warm weather, which is good. I love that we're getting Green Bay out the way with no snow or anything like that. Two, the head official for the game is indeed Cleet Blakeman.
Oh my god.
Cleet Blakeman, he's made some calls against the Lions. Everybody's made some calls against the Lions, so I don't want to signal him out specifically, but definitely much. It just gives you concerns, gives you a little bit of worries that he's the lead official for the game. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think the Lions have a better team on paper.
Be on the lookout for him.
Yeah. There's always that factor. Nobody wants to go into the game like, oh, we got to worry about the Rams, blah blah blah. But it's just a thing to be mindful of, as all. We'll see. We'll definitely see. But should be a very interesting game. Kind of prime time ish. It'll be in the 4:25 slot for Fox. So looking forward to it. You want to make a bold prediction? What you thinking?
I will say both quarterbacks are a little banged up. When just a little bit. Jared Goff did not practice today. Jordan Love, I don't think practiced today either with the groin injury.
Yeah.
So we'll see who looks healthier by the time kickoff is. Hopefully it's our quarterback. I don't know. Prediction wise, let's see. 31 Lions, 25 Green Bay.
31-25. Interesting pick. I could see. I really do see something similar to that though. I think the Lions are going to score a decent amount of points. Um, I kind of see something in the same range. I'm not going to lie. I'm thinking 34-24 Detroit. In this game, I think Detroit's a better team. I think that Jordan Love, also the groin injury is a concern because he did not return to the game. I know Jared Goff has his ankle injury as well, but Jared Goff played the whole game, even when they were up by like 80 points at that point. So the fact that he was still out there, even with the minor ankle injury, just let him rest. Just let him sit down for a day or two. Let him put some ice on it, chill out, blah, 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 do whatever. It's not like we need the guy to run. Like he's not moving around. He's going to stay in the pocket and make his throws. So
like Tim Patrick said.
Yeah, like we don't need Michael Vick from him. We don't need a scramble around guy. We don't need Anthony Richardson from him. Like we just need a guy that's going to stay in the pocket, make the reads, make the throws. His brain isn't injured to my knowledge, so should be fine.
You see, Anthony Richards got tired, so maybe he shouldn't do no more running right now.
Yeah, exactly. No, if a D lineman trying to hit you, just let him bring you down. You ain't got to throw him off you. You ain't got to throw him off you, Jared. We don't need that from you. We'll get back to the next drive. Don't worry. We'll protect you the next drive. Speaking of this Green Bay game, though, it looks like the Lions, as far as injuries, should be mostly healthy. but they will be missing one key player. Jameson Williams is serving the second game of his suspension. Very kind of strange suspension. It's one of those things where it's not a performance enhancing drug suspension. It's not like an illegal or illicit drug suspension, not even like a weed thing. Um, by all accounts, it sounds like something prescription related, and there have been rumors tossed out about him changing his prescription or something like that for some kind of over the counter medicine, and that may have been what triggered it. Who knows? We have no idea. But he will miss the game. He did accept the suspension, and he'll be back for the Houston game, hopefully. Do you feel like that's going to come back to bite the Lions a little bit?
I mean, we definitely could use him with Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay is 6-2. We are 6-1.
Mhm.
I think we can get by without him. We do have a lot offensively. I think we can get by without him. But yeah, with Jameson, they've been watching him, man. They've been picking with your boy, man.
Yeah,
I ain't liking this.
Yeah, as far as the Green Bay game, I think that we can figure it out, especially with Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond specifically has caught deep balls in games against Green Bay, which I remember very vividly. I think that we can kind of figure that out, but we don't want to lose Jameson for an extended period of time,
No.
which brings into question, of course, some other off the field things that were going on. People have strong opinions about it. Either they're like, this guy can't stay out of trouble and, he makes bad decisions. And then the other side is very much like, these things continue to be like little things that keep coming up that only he gets picked at, it seems like, for them. Guns are not little, to be fair. Guns are not a little thing. If you have a gun, make sure it's registered, make sure you got the licensing, blah, 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 things like that. In this situation, it sounds like Jameson had a gun that was registered to him, so legally owned under the seat of his brother's car. In Michigan, of course, if you're going to conceal a weapon in any way, which under the seat of the car does count as being concealed, you are supposed to have a CPL or a concealed pistol license. Jameson, of course, isn't from Michigan, from Alabama, from Missouri, excuse me. Went to college in Alabama. Things like that. Places like that, they don't have the same kind of stricter gun laws as Michigan. So to me, sounds like an honest mistake as far as not having a CPL. But even then, the brother apparently did have a CPL, which I'm not sure what kind of CPL he had, if that covered both weapons in the car. I have no idea. I'm not a judge, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Sarah, I'm not sure what your opinions are on it, but I would just like to see it go away.
Well, okay, so the incident happened October 8th. So they claimed that J-Mo had told his team about it, that the team knows about it, number one. Number two, firearm, because I don't always like to say the word gun, firearm is registered to Jameson. Okay. Now, should he have had it under the seat? Obviously not. But if he had it out in the open, carrying it on his hip, it's not covered up, he would have been okay. So, and then the brother did have a CPL that covered his weapon. So at first they said that the brother was trying to take ownership of both, but then Jameson admitted with the officer that, well, this one is registered to me, which he probably should have admitted it anyway, because once they ran it, they would know it's Jameson's weapon. So it's not like a stolen weapon or a weapon that has scratched off serial numbers or a weapon that was used in a commission of a crime. So that's why I'm like, all right, he had it under seat. Obviously, this is the former murder capital, okay? So, things be going on. And, he in Detroit, young, we all been young and dumb. I'm not saying that we all carried firearms under seats, but all I'm saying is the gun was registered. It wasn't a weapon that was used in a robbery or anything. There is, as we know, it's not linked to anything. So it might have been an honest mistake. Now, he was in the passenger seat, so It wasn't like, okay, well, he got a weapon, he drinking, he driving. Like, these are things that aggravate the situation, in my opinion. But the thing that kind of made me mad was Channel 7. Listen, this is the home team, man. Like, you're supposed to be on our side. I can see if somebody from Chicago broke this, or
Yeah.
Florida, like Channel 7, like WXYZ. Like,
Well,
dang.
I will say this was a rumor on Twitter. It was inaccurate as far as the details, but there was a rumor going around on Twitter a couple weeks ago that Jameson Williams had been arrested for like a firearms offense, like a gun charge essentially, which obviously he was not arrested. He was in custody for a quick second, but he wasn't arrested for any kind of gun charge. So it wasn't accurate, but it was a thing that was kind of already out there a little bit. I still feel you on the whole, like, hey, like if this is a nothing burger, which it looked like it was until they put it out there. Now DPD is trying to spin and do their little control and blah blah blah, and like, oh, we're gonna go back and relook at this, and it's like, to me, that's dumb. That's where I have the issue. Is like, okay, y'all feel like y'all should have arrested him because he broke the law. Well, if you did that in the moment, then maybe you were right. Like maybe you had the jurisdiction, whatever, the right to be able to do that.
Yes.
After the fact, it's like, okay, well, you botched it. Your officer came, your officer was a Lions fan very clearly in the video. You can see his Lions wallpaper on his phone.
Yep.
He made the calls. He said, hey, this is not something that we're going to pursue. That's that. Like at that point, I am not in favor of the idea of like, okay, well, we're going to go back. We're going to do this damage control and we're going to arrest him because we don't want to make our officers look incompetent. No, you made the decision you made. Like, if you want to write him a citation or, mandate that he takes a CPL class or whatever, sure. But, like, to retroactively be like, oh, well, actually, this does break the law, blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, that's not where it's at. And you made valid points about the whole ride around Detroit. Like, I think Jameson apparently lives in Detroit, maybe within the city limits. I don't know.
Reportedly, that's what he said. He lives in
Yeah.
Detroit.
I don't want to give out his address or speculate on where he lives, but he does spend time in the city. He is one of the players on the team that is very much like connects with the community. He's from an inner city area, and people love that about him. I love that about him. I love that he like embraces Detroit culture and likes to hang around people from Detroit and feels comfortable here and doesn't add to that stigma of, oh, you can't be in Detroit. Like, y'all, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you can. But if you're going to be around certain parts late at night, going to Coney Islands and being comfortable, yeah, you probably should have some protection. You should make sure your protection is legal within state law and, his gun is registered. He should make sure that next time, have the CPO, have whatever you need just in case. Just in case is what I recommend. And I hope that he's getting on the CPO thing right now. But I hope that nothing comes of it. If they write him a citation, whatever, blah, 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 that's fine. Mandate the classes. Other than that, leave it alone. Because at the end of the day, y'all let him go. Y'all said that it wasn't enough right then and there. Let him go.
Right. And that was the second part I was going to piggyback off of. It's like, okay, well, now y'all say, well, no citizen is above the law. And, I'm mad because my officers did this and let them go. But listen, my thing is, you officer got fan happy and people are mad like, okay, well, Jameson used his position that he plays for the Lions. Okay, so what if he did? If any of us are in trouble, how many famous people have you saw on camera? Oh, I'm a singer. Oh, I'm a rapper. I'm an entertainer. How many people are going to try to use their position to get them out of trouble? 100%.
Yeah.
So we can't fault him for, hey, I'm Jameson, man. Y'all play for the Lions. Like, y'all recognize me. Like, I'm not saying it's right, but apparently in this case, it worked. So you let him go. Just go on. If you want to suspend your officer for being fan happy, go ahead and do that. But to try to punish Jameson after you said, after you let him go, or we gonna let him go, whatever the case may be, in my opinion, it's kind of petty.
Yeah, I think DPD should go back through their protocols, look at the legalities of it, whatever they got to do. But like at the end of the day, either you missed on arresting him, or you made the decision not to arrest him properly. Like you made the right decision, right or wrong, whatever. But wrong would be to go back and be like, oh, well, we got to do this and we got to do that. Like, again, that seems a little bit excessive to me. And I don't think that's what DPD is going to do. And it doesn't seem like there's any inclination that they will. I think that a warrant was like requested but that has to go through a whole process of being approved and blah blah blah. I'm sure they're talking to JMO's lawyers and they probably trying to figure this out right now as far as what this looks like, as far as how do we resolve this situation. So, um, hopefully it's a nothing burger. Hopefully we get him back for the next game because the next game is against the Houston Texans, and we could probably use him for that game because that is a very good team. So, we'll see, we'll see. But I think that we can get by in Green Bay without him.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, they got to stop messing with him. Like I said, hopefully this is all, and they okay. Well, Jameson was in the area pointing the gun, or he was doing this, or he was doing that. Like, hopefully, nothing comes of this, and they don't bring no more stories attaching him to this firearm. If it's just that, just let it be that.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, I'm hoping that it gets figured out, gets resolved pretty quickly, and it doesn't cause any more future issues. We just move forward from it. JMO learns how to move a little better. I think he's learning through each of these incidents, like, you know, be a little more cautious about the way that we do, whether it's opening up FanDuel and placing the bet, whether it's changing our prescription, whether it's riding around the city late at night, like just learn from each and every one of these moves. But he's clearly proven to be a very talented player and can be an asset for the Lions offense. And that's kind of what we need. And also, he's kind of a bit of, again, a pillar in the community as far as like not only just hanging out with people, but like going to high school games, giving advice to players, donating, holding camps and things like that. He's been very active and involved and very much a positive influence in the community. So if we could keep that going, I mean, that is absolutely preferred. Good on the field, good off the field. That's all we want to see from the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, though, we'll go ahead and cap it here. We're hoping for a good game against Green Bay. I'm expecting some good things for this Lions team. We are 6-1. We are the best team in the NFC by record. And a lot of the power rankings have us as the best team in the NFL. Kansas City will probably have something to say about that, but
Boo.
I think we're right there with them, which is exactly what we expected before the season. When we chatted about what we expect from the Lions, I personally felt like this was the best team in the NFC. I think that this is a Super Bowl team. I think that they need to go out and get Zadarius Smith and stop playing.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I feel very confident. As long as this team can add a pass rush before the trade deadline, I think we're rolling here. I think we are rolling here.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Lions.
Facts. Also, for everybody that's listening, early voting has started in majority of states. Go out and make your voice heard.
Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. That.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and cap it off. Thank y'all for listening. Again, continue to follow us on TikTok, follow us on Twitter, follow us on whatever. Y'all can follow us personally. Y'all can hit us up. It don't really matter. But appreciate y'all for listening. CB, cap it for me.
All right. Well, you know where to follow me on TikTok at 411 Lions. If you want to see the clips of our podcast, do that. CB and Keith is peace.